Yeah, my name's Eric King. I did 10 years in the feds for throwing Molotov cocktails at a congressman's office. Yeah, I grew up in Kansas City. I'm from the city. Uh, so yeah, I'm just a city kid. Man, I saw really horrible stuff. One of the worst things I saw was I had a homie who was independent. He was independent in Texas, and he didn't like that the ACs were taking over his car. Like they were starting to slowly take over the independent car. And so he was kind of just speaking out about that. And those dudes made up some bullshit saying he was sending messages to SIS, some nonsense. Dude been in for 15 years. He had hard restrictions. He wasn't doing nothing like that. But they ended up jumping the shit out of him and they kicked his face in. And so there's blood everywhere and they kicked off his ear. And
They
seeing
kicked off
someone,
his ear.
yeah, like they were kicking him so much his fucking ear went off. Uh, and
His
so
ear went
that,
off? Like his ear
yeah,
went off of his head.
yeah, it was dangling and they just
Yeah.
kept booting.
They must have had those
Yeah.
them boots on, man.
Yeah, that's when we still had this. Like they got rid of that shit later. That's when you still had the steel toe boots,
Oh
and
yeah, okay, yeah.
and then like seeing people get pumpkin headed. Like I'm sure you know that term when they stomp on
Yeah.
someone's head so much it flattens. And when you when you do that shit, it is horrifying. I saw that happen way too much, and it will make you puke. Like I still think about that sometimes. It gives me the shivers. Like they'll your car will have like arbitrary rules and they can change all the time. Or like some gang comes in and they change the rules. So you'll see a white guy. I can only speak on behalf of like white guys. You'll see someone like barely break some rule or some shit, and all of a sudden there's four guys on him, and they are beating him. And you see like when the body stops moving, like they're out, and the bros keep going. Like that is sickening to me. You got blood everywhere, you got teeth everywhere, and they're just stunned. You can see the bruises already developing. Like I saw a dude like he was trying to leave his cell and they start slamming the door on his arm. Like that can break your arm off. It shattered the arm, and you could just hear him
Yeah.
screaming, and you can't do nothing about it. You're not gonna jeopardize your life to save some stranger, but it is grisly. Like it is not cool. And shittily, like in prison, you have nothing but status and respect from your peers. And if the only way to get it is violence, then that's what you're gonna do to gain that respect and be left alone. So they just have no other choice in their brains except for to embrace that violent culture. For me, I had fight or flight 24 hours a day. Like someone's gonna try something. And it's not like fear, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? But it's fear as if like stay alert. Like someone's walking behind you, look at them. Someone's standing behind you or beside you, just keeping an eye on people. You're in the chow line, just knowing who's behind you, standing sideways on the walls. Cause I don't want nobody to get a jump on me. And sometimes they did, but yeah, it was just constant awareness of the bullshit that you can get compounded on you. So at the different custody levels, it changes. So like at a low security, it's mostly people, first time offenders with college educations, myself, no matter what your charges are, sex offenders and rats. That's basically the only people at a low. So you stay away from all the weirdos. You stay away from those people. You associate with the eight or so other solid dudes. And then in a medium, that's when you start getting like the moderate sized gang members, like the gang members that are super violent, people wanting to join gangs, people that like lots of bank robbers, lots of big time drug dealers. It's pretty serious. And then when you get to the penitentiary level, it seems like every motherfucker there is the most dangerous person on earth. That's when you get actual gang leaders. You get people that have done heinous crimes. You get lots of life sentences. And then at ADX is just nothing but the most infamous people in prison. So most people in prison don't have support. They don't have love. They don't have families that are looking out for them or friends. And so all you have is your bros and you start trauma bonding. That's what it's called. When you're in constant, like serious situations, you start developing relationships with each other, like strong brotherly bonds. And so it makes 100% sense to me why someone would want to join a gang. Like this gang chose me. Like I was good enough that they wanted me. And that's the only sense of validation you'll get your entire 5, 10, 30 years. So I get it. It's stupid, but I get it.
So did anybody take you under their wing at any point to learn?
Oh. If you're talking about like how to do like how to prison, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was old heads that taught me like how to make knives, how to start fires, how to wear your boots to the shower. Your people just hip you to that stuff. Like you learn really quick that if you make a mistake, you're not given all the chances in the world. You have to learn very quickly. These are the rules, and if you follow them, you're good, probably. But if you don't, you're going to get hurt, and that's the options. There's not a middle ground there. You follow or you get fucked off. So at Florence Medium, because I was on like this activist shit, like I was writing papers about what the prison's doing. I was calling out abuses, helping other races with legal work and stuff. A lieutenant got super mad at me and brought me into his office and jumped me. And so when he jumped me, I fought back and I just happened to control. I just happened to catch him. He wasn't ready for it, so I just bop, 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 bop.
Hold on. So rewind it back a little bit. So he brought you in there and just started going off on you?
Yeah, he brought me in there and started yelling at me, calling me a terrorist, calling me the F slur, bitch, punk, N-word lover, all this stuff. And I'm just laughing at him like, all right, dude, like, all right, tough guy, I know what you're doing. Like, you're not gonna get me. And then he got so mad at me laughing that he pushed me. And when he pushed me, I still didn't do anything. I was just so shocked. But then he threw two punches. Bop, bop. And on the second one, my body was turned. And you cannot let anyone put their hands on you inside. You know that. Like everyone knows that. I don't care if it's the warden. I don't care if it's fucking Jesus. They cannot touch you inside. And so I lit his ass up and then I got halfway killed by those guards. I got 4 pointed. I got choked to death. And that just led to a series of years and years of horrible things. So
Hold on. They changed you to a bed?
yeah, I got pictures and videos of that too. It's in the book. It's on my Instagram. We have the videos of that where they cut off your clothes, they rip them off, and they chain you corner to corner to the bed, and it just rips your shoulders in half. It destroys your body. It's called 4 pointing. Yeah, we got the videos because we took the second case to trial, so we got all the discovery.
But they don't normally do stuff like that. It was just these, they were corrupt, right? It was just
Yeah,
them.
it's supposed to be done as a last case situation, but if you fuck up staff, they're gonna do it to you. They're gonna hurt you in every way possible. Not a fight, but if you actually hurt staff, you're done. And on the yard, like when I was on the normal yards, we would if you weren't locked down, like because of a fight or whatever, we had lots of out time. You were basically out all day except for count and then bedtime. But yeah, in the shoe, it was just 24-hour lockdown. And if anyone thinks there are nurses that are supervised getting 4 pointing, they're out of their goddamn mind. We once again, as I said, we got the videos. They don't come in and check on you. They don't give a shit about you. They want you to die. They want you. So there's different levels of isolation. Like when you're in just the normal shoe, you're isolated by yourself, but you're still hearing everybody. You're hearing people bang on the door. You're hearing people rap. You're shooting kites to everyone. So you're by yourself, and it creates I don't know. For me, it created a sense of like anger. I was angry then all the time. Like, fuck you. Fuck you for giving me cold food. Fuck you for ripping on my mail. Fuck you for not giving me the phone. But then when you get to like ADX, it is so isolated. Like you're in that box and you're by yourself. You are not hearing shit. You are not interacting with people. If the guards take you out of the cell for any reason, they got the batons. So that's where isolation tests you because then you're just in your head 24/7. And people lose their minds in there. Like people really do break
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I trust. I
goal.
know.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to the point where you were talking to yourself?
Internally. I lost it for a bit in the shoe though, for real. You get to the third, fourth, fifth year, like with no visits, no phone calls, no email, you start losing sight of what the goal is. So I would run the team, I would trash the cell, start fires, just always getting fucked up by these guards because I thought I was actually fighting them as opposed to just hurting myself like an idiot.
Did it ever feel like time stopped feeling real? Time
Always,
itself?
yeah, that's 100%, 100%. Like the days are so fast, but also so slow. Like even now I forget when my birthday is or what. Like you just stop paying attention. It all becomes just one boring, loud, like just boring as shit or super violent blur.
So how do guys break mentally in there?
So I saw it happen a lot. Like sometimes they'll break just because they're not used to being confined, and so they'll start talking to themselves. They'll start screaming all day and all night, banging on the showers, banging on the doors. Help! Get me out of here! And then sometimes they get really messed up and they'll start like smearing the cells in shit. At ADX,
Yeah.
people will literally like dig holes in their brains or cut off their arms, start eating it because they lose sense of humanity. They forget that they're human and that there's hope. Because when you feel hope, like what's the point?
What's the worst abuse you saw from the guards?
On myself or others?
Well, you can say both.
So like if it's myself, I don't know if you can see, I got this white line right here. I was handcuffed behind my back and they were searching my shower and I was just talking shit to one of the guards and they picked me up, slammed me on my head on the concrete, split my head open. I had to get 7 stitches. I had a concussion really bad, puking for a month. So that was really bad. But the other stuff is violence, like seeing people get slammed for nothing, seeing people get their food taken away for nothing, seeing people get hospitalized. Like at USP Lee, they will hospitalize you if you're in shackles. Like if they put you in shackles for any reason, and there's 1,000 reasons, they will slam your face against the wall, grind your face against the wall, rip out bro's dreads, rip out your beard, piss on you, shove you down. Like they will demoralize you and just they will do everything possible to hurt you and hurt you mentally. It's just devastating. It's devastating. I hate the guard. I hate the guard so much. I have a tattoo on my back that says every cop is my enemy. And I stand by
It
that.
sounded like you were fighting with them every day in there.
Yeah. Like, cause they took so much. Like, as a human being, everyone has a line, right? And when someone crosses that line, you don't ration anymore. You don't have common sense anymore. And so I lost my common sense and acted like a goddamn idiot and got myself hurt a lot. I wish I hadn't.
What causes the most fights in prisons, do you think?
Between inmates or guards,
Inmates.
debt. People, people that don't have anything want something. They need something. They either need to change how their brains feel with drugs. They need food because they're hungry. They're just addicted to gambling. And it is shocking how many people will go into debt knowing that they're going to, like, they watch other people get hurt. They will have put in work on someone who didn't have debt or didn't pay their debts. And then they will go into debt. And it's like, fool, don't do this to yourself, please. But that would happen at least sometimes once a day, but at least once a week you'd see someone get seriously hurt for not having money, for not having what they owed, right? And something people forget, like people don't always realize this, convicts and free world people alike. Like someone will get, like, let's say you get 10 Suboxone strips, you feel like hot shit, now you got money and drugs, and then you check in with it. You go PC, so now you get to keep the drugs and you think you're safe. But they forget how small of a world the federal prison system is. So they'll go through the transport center or land somewhere else. You still stole that stuff. And so then they'll get just savagely destroyed at the next yard. You'll see people that were you think are friends even. And one disrespectful word, one slip up, like, oh, you a bitch, bro. What? What? Or like they feel like someone cheated them, like the 32 pieces of boxing, they feel like it was maybe a 24. Just small shit like that. And all of a sudden knives are out or locks
But
are done.
it's called that an eye shot.
For
Yeah.
real. That burns. I only did it once, but there was 3 people I met that I would consider friends, like actual friends. And one of them I would have trusted with my life. He's at ADX now too. He sliced a cop really bad. Um, 2 of them were just like, we're friends, like we're cool. I can sit with you and trust you. But out of 10 years, 3 people I would call friends that I trusted. Because everyone else, like, just because they're cool now doesn't mean they'll be cool in 10 seconds. Doesn't mean they'll be cool
Yeah.
if you don't give them like some girl's address or phone number. Like it just you cannot trust people inside, and that takes a toll on you mentally. This guard, I was in the shoe fighting my second case for the assault. They were charging me with that and asking for 20 years. So I was back in the shoe fighting that, and this guard would always rip up my mail from my wife, or like I'd go out to wreck and he'd piss on my floor. I'd come back and all my pictures would be covered in piss. So I told him, like, do that again, or like I'm going to ruin your day. He's like, all right, you fag, whatever, pussy. So, and as soon as he walks up, I grab that food tray from him. Thanks, bro. Right in the face. You're not gonna do that to me and my family. And then obviously you get pepper sprayed and chained, and they ruin your life.
What was the day of release like?
Oh, it was. So I don't know about you, but like I always heard this stuff like it's people best day of your life, dog. Like, what are you gonna eat? You're gonna eat all the food. You're gonna fuck everybody. You're gonna brr. Like I just done 5.5 years at that point straight of seg. I hated being touched. Like I was scared. I was nervous. I felt dumb because like I was only in for 10 years, but the world changes in 10 years. So like I didn't understand stuff like with the smartphones, with Bluetooth, with QR codes. I just felt dumb. And so it was so beautiful, like having my wife and my kid with me and my friends, but I didn't feel like I could let my guard down because I was still holding all that trauma, all that fear and anger, and the way your body changes when you're in isolation for a period of time. So it wasn't a good day. And then you have to go straight to the fucking halfway house. So I had 2 hours out of prison, then right in the halfway house to deal with that bullshit. It wasn't a good day, honestly. It was great hugging my wife, but that was it. I appreciate you. I ask people, please buy the book. It's called A Clean Hell. It's about ADX. There's not many books about it.